Hello, and welcome back to the Roadhouse. It's been quite some time. Here we are, playing Sekiro. I'm happy to be back in the saddle, be back playing a From Software game. Those are the creators of Dark Souls, if you didn't know. The lovely ladies and gentlemen who put together some of the best games of the modern era, honestly. The most challenging, in a lot of ways, the most rewarding, at least if you ask me, that is. Really, the thing is about From Software games is that they don't baby you, do they? They go big and they don't really care how you feel about it. And that's the beautiful thing. Why play a game that wants you to beat it? Instead, this is more like playing a game that exists and asks the question if you can beat it. With that said, here, let me explain. So I'm in kind of a tutorial area right now. I have played through this already. So I'm just gonna kind of zoom through this and get it over with, because it is kind of a boring area, if you ask me. It's kind of setting up the story. Here's the thing. I am kind of an orphan, right? And this guy took me in. I now call him Dad, I guess. I'm a shinobi. I really don't know what that word means. I should. Some kind of samurai. I assume. And I have a master, and he's a child. Right now, he's been kidnapped. Are you following me here? He's been kidnapped, and I'm going to save him. This is kind of the tutorial area of the game, kind of introduce the characters. I won't always be this quick. It's just that it's a tutorial, and I've done this section before. I played maybe like an hour and a half just to kind of, see what's going on with this game. See, here's my master, as they call it. But I'll let the cutscene play here.
You did well to come here. It's been too long, Wolf.
I've come to free you, my lord.
One of the most notable differences is the voice acting in this game. It's a little different than Dark Souls. No custom characters. That's one thing, right?
Raise your head.
Our protagonist here is actually voiced, which is cool.
Kusabimaru, your sword.
And we're definitely gonna need that. Thank you, young
My
lord.
shinobi. In accordance with the bond of lord and retainer, you will pledge your life in my service.
Let's do it, man. Let's get to it. I pledge.
As you command.
Okay, so that was an important moment, I suppose. This is basically where we have to rescue this kid, at least at this moment. He is our master. He is the divine heir, an heirloom of the Hirata family. I'm just going to prepare you right now. I'm going to mispronounce a lot of things in this game, so please just bear with me. I'm going to do my best. And here we go. We got our sword. So I guess I should probably talk to him.
Loyal Wolf, it is use
Yep.
it.
Okay. Okay, so this is a healing gourd. And this is, if you've ever played Dark Souls, this is kind of like the Estus flask. It refills every time you rest at a bonfire. You have a certain amount of uses. I'm sorry. Yeah, I called it a bonfire. What I mean to call it is a sculptor's idol. But don't worry, we'll get to all of that very
Were
soon.
you gravely injured?
After what?
Do you not remember?
I do not.
Right now we must
Very
escape
mysterious
Ashina Castle.
dialogue.
As you say.
There's a secret path Lord Ishin told I asked once you fought Sign, I will
So basically, let me sum up what this young lord is talking about. He's saying, first let me destroy everything in this room because I can. This young lord is telling us that there's a secret passage in which we can't escape from this place. If we just take a look out here, and we have been tasked to find it and then signal him with a reed whistle so we could then escape. And that's my plan right now. I'm just kind of looking around, making sure I get everything. Pellet is a medicinal item. So anyway, let's just open our menu here. And we are going to equip our gourd. We're going to equip the pellet. I guess we should probably equip the homeward idol, which is, again, if you've played Dark Souls, then you probably know what that does. If you haven't, well, just wait and you'll find out soon. So basically, the premise of this game is that you're Shinobi, and the combat and the gameplay is based a lot off of parrying and sword fighting and that kind of thing. Like I said, I saw some videos of this game being played, and I was like, my lord, I'm in. I'm in, my young lord. I am your Shinobi. And the reason for that is because, you know, one of my favorite elements from Dark Souls 3 was the blocking and the time you had to take to actually learn enemy patterns and get good at the game. But so we're gonna go through a very similar process with this game. Posture and death blows. A shinobi aims to break an opponent's posture. Attacking an enemy is one way to achieve this. When an enemy's posture breaks, he is vulnerable to a shinobi death blow. So this is kind of explaining how the combat works. And there's also a very large stealth element to this game, so you're going to see me approach this poor young man. And take his life right from his hands, like taking candy from a baby. Now, what you're going to see here is me blocking. There is the bottom bar on the screen is my posture. And you will see a similar bar above this man's head when he loses... Ooh. You know what? That's it. Game over. It was a great game. I learned my lesson. Okay, so that wasn't supposed to happen like that. Let's try this one more time. So we're gonna attack this fellow with a stealth kill. This guy's gonna come up to us. We're gonna parry him at the right time. And as you can see, you could hold block here. Attack. So you can see I broke his posture quite fast. This is kind of a weak enemy. And it works in kind of a different way than Dark Souls. That you'll see, mainly you're killing enemies with death blows. Deflection. Sometimes relentless attack is not enough to break an enemy's posture. Sometimes you have to deflect. And what this is talking about is timing your blocks, like right when they attack. Like that. So basically it's like hitting the block button right when they attack you, and it's like a parry. It gives you a lot of posture damage and allows you to get a death blow. So let's take these guys on. Try to do it one at a time. I mean, this game is a hard game, so you have to be, you know, you have to respect it. Take your time. As you can see, though, I am an expert, so that won't be completely necessary for me. But when you play, you know, maybe you should take your time. Anyway, I'm going to sneak around here, jump on this guy's face, and, you know, slit his throat. And we're going to take his friend out. Good night, sir. Now ahead of us is our first tough battle, if I remember correctly. As you can see, this fellow has a health bar in the top left. A counter slash can be performed immediately after deflecting. So this is kind of just talking about when you parry an attack, going in for a counter slash right after is preferable or possible, or I don't even know what I'm saying. Let's just fight this guy. See, that was a perfect time parry. All right, that was also a perfect time parry. All right, so as you can see, I got one death blow on him, and this guy needs two. So a lot of bosses require 2 death blows. I think that's kind of like the thing for this game. Now, I know I'm talking like I know everything, but actually, I really do not. I'm kind of just zooming past the tutorial section. In fact, the first time I played, this section took me a lot longer. You see my posture can be broken as well at the bottom there. So you have to kind of watch that. Be careful. We got this guy, though. Good night to you, sir. And we got a pellet. Is that all we got? It's a pellet? Anyway, so that's kind of how the combat system works. It's a lot different than Dark Souls. It's a lot tighter. You have to be a lot more careful. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I also believe that in this game, you don't get like a ton of weapons like you do in Dark Souls. In fact, I believe you stick with one weapon. You do get kind of like these special weapons that you will see later when we get there. But, yeah, this is Sekiro, and my god, what a beautiful game, might I say. And, I mean, one of the main things I've noticed here is that the theme of the game is much tighter than Dark Souls. And what I mean by that, I guess, is that, you know, Dark Souls, you start out in a castle. It's got a, you know, it's got the night theme to it, but it also gets really weird. It also gets like demons and monsters and all kinds of weird stuff, especially if you if you talk about Dark Souls 2, which kind of just, you know, goes everywhere. I mean, you got pirates and ghosts and now I haven't played this game all the way through, so this game could definitely get weird, and I'm sure it does. But it just all seems like it's just a little tighter with the theme. Everything kind of makes more sense. We're going to eavesdrop on these guys. They are going to reveal some intel that they really shouldn't be talking so loud about. Basically, that the secret passage is right down below the bridge. And you can actually see it from here, that door down there. This guy's just scrounging. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. And I'm glad I have rid this earth of it. So, you know, after playing this game a little bit and testing things out, one thing I definitely want to be sure of is that, you know, I take the stealth system seriously because right now, you know, we're in the tutorial. Things are pretty easy. I could kind of just steamroll through it, but later enemies get extremely hard. This game takes a lot of patience. And I like that. I respect that. I'm going to do my best to approach things patiently. Anyway, let's carry on, shall we? This is the secret passage. So, let's check it out. This appears to be the escape route. Use the divine air with the... I'm sorry, call the divine air with the reed whistle? Yes, sure. This is going to activate a cutscene. I don't know how he got here so fast. Your guess is as good as mine. Why does this young lord need me?
Wolf, you found it. Now let us leave this place.
Let's do it, man.
To think that this is the only way, to run from the fated bloodline, is the only answer.
Okay, so we're going to carry on through this little secret passage. Come on, buddy. Keeping up with me? I can talk to him.
Where shall we go once we're away from the cat? I suppose the first thing we should do, or perhaps we should hide somewhere. What do you think?
Whatever you desire,
Whatever I desire? That's the wolf I know.
my lord.
How old is this
Oh,
kid?
nothing. I was just reminiscing. Onward then.
Okay. So yeah, the land that we are currently running around in is apparently called Ashina. So that's one thing to note. And, I mean, this is a cutscene. This is a cutscene. I was going to go on, but I just don't want to spoil it. I'll let you watch.
Last we stood together was your uncle's funeral.
Lord Genichiro.
He's got that villainous face about him, doesn't he? I got this kid, don't worry.
Thank
Leave this to me.
And we have a boss battle ahead of us. Our first real boss battle.
So the noble shinobi stands in our way.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of those boss battles that a game puts in for you to lose intentionally. I'm going to do my best to beat this guy's butt, though. So that little indication that you got usually indicates an attack that cannot be blocked, so you have to kind of dodge it. I mean, definitely gonna die, aren't I? Oh. And my arm has now been sliced off. Alright, you got me. Good for you. God, he's gotta like show off with the whole, you know, swing of the sword.
Is that all the shinobi has to offer?
As you can see, this game is setting this guy up for
air will
a
be
good
coming
beating
with me.
later on. I don't know who this Birdman is, but he's going down too. You better believe it. So, I mean, that's like the end of the tutorial section there. And this is where the real game begins. Although I will say, they introduce the systems of the game kind of slowly. Just taking a nice nap. Nothing urgent happening in Ashina. So this is my prosthetic arm, which is a big aspect of the game. It's kind of like an Inspector Gadget type of deal going on here.
So you're awake. Looks like
And this is Liam
is
Neeson
not your fate. Just
after
yet.
releasing the 11th Taken film. So again, this is the Shinobi prosthetic, and basically this is kind of like acts as the weapon you customize. I believe you use the same sword all throughout the game, or at least from what I have seen, that is the case. So here we are in this strange room filled with thousands of statues. And this is part of the lore somehow. I'm sure this fellow is known as a sculptor.
What do you call yourself? You're on the other.
Okay, yeah. Bear with me. I'm gonna skip through most of the lore. I do want to just kind of get to the gameplay. Not gonna lie. How did I get here, man?
All I didn't even
You dragged me here. Okay,
However,
cool. Thanks, man.
you
Appreciate
said
it.
they were looking.
What did you mean when you said
And some might.
Okay, cool. So basically, he's kind of just telling me about the divine air, the blood. I'm a shinobi. You have a purpose. Here's your prosthetic arm. You know, find some cool stuff to attach to it, and he'll fit it for me. That's his purpose. So, wow, look at that. Look at that view. This game is a really good-looking game, as you could see. Very impressive from you know, a graphics standpoint. This here is what we call a sculptor's idol. And it acts very similarly to a bonfire in Dark Souls. So we are going to rest here, heal up, restore our gourd, get up, and this young maiden is now here, and she's kind of like the firekeeper.
You
The power I never thought I'd see.
Who are you?
My name is Anne. I am a
What?
Blah, 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 blah. She's a doctor. She made the healing gourd that we have.
Who made this gourd?
Yes, but it seems I'm sure the
It's made from
medicinal
special
healing
magical
efforts-
seeds that
Yes,
refill the water in
medicinal
the
water.
gourd.
Adding new if you find it.
If you find more seeds, bring it to her, and you'll have more uses. Thank you very much. Now, one aspect... I know I've skipped through this very fast. One aspect of the game is that when you die, you come back to life. And this is all part of, like, the lore of the game. It's pretty cool that they wrote it into the lore. And, you know, they do a very similar thing with Dark Souls about being undead and that kind of thing. In this game, it's all about the Divine Heir's blood and its resurrective properties or powers. I don't know, but that's what she was talking about. She was really surprised I came back to life, so on and so forth. And you'll find that other people in this world are also afflicted by this curse, like this man.
Your name? But you do have the look of a skilled shinobi. A shinobi. Sir, please heed my humble request. Face me in battle.
Bam, perfect parry. Sorry, sir. Good night to you.
Damn. Still alive.
This poor fellow just wants to die, but he cannot die. So it's kind of like this undead curse type of thing going on.
That swordsmanship. It was a thing to be.